All right, I'll tell y'all a little Christmas story. I've witnessed a few miracles in my life, and this was one of them. So, what happened was, make sure my mic's not covered. What happened was last year around this time. Well, you got to realize that um, over the previous maybe 5 or 6 months, I went to get my car fixed with this one mechanic. He literally just tried to screw me out of $1,000. Uh, he he didn't fix my car, and it's such a the guy was so dumb. Anyways, um, it, since he didn't do it right the first time, what ended up happening was I wasn't about to pay him again, and he knew that I could have just what I should have done was um like declined that card transaction and disputed it because that's what I should have done. If a mechanic ever screws you out of your money and you already paid, dispute the transaction because you'll get your money back, especially if you can prove that they didn't do what they were paid to do, which I could have done. But like an idiot, I gave him the benefit of the doubt and I let him keep trying to fix it. Um, and he fixed it just enough to um, to get me out. I didn't want to keep going down there and spending days at this idiot mechanic anyway. I was, but anyways, next time that happens, I'm with a mechanic. You should pay with the card. This way, you can dispute the charge if your car ain't fixed right. So, anyways, by the time he finally got my car to where I was gonna just deal with it, it was running. It was he kind of got it fixed, but what happened was it ended up breaking down a couple months later. And so then I go to this other mechanic who I was hanging out in this park a lot in Tarpon Springs, and I was becoming friends with the people who work there. Anyways, one of them seen me messing with my car, and he's like, "What's wrong with it?" I'm like, "I think the head gasket's about to go." And this is due to the last mechanic not doing the job I paid him to do. Anyways, he's like, "Well, I got a buddy who's a mechanic in Largo." He's like, I'll get you a cheap head gasket job." He's like, $1,000. I'm like, "Okay, that's cheap for a head gasket." I'm like, "Okay." So I should have known better. Anyways, I get down there and I should have known. This guy had 1,000 cars half fixed everywhere. He's got way too much shit going on to do anything right. Anyways, he does my head gasket. And as soon as I get my car back, there's issues. There's lights popping up in the dash, this and that. So I end up driving back and forth to Largo. I couldn't tell you how many times to get this guy to get the lights to stop lighting up in my dash. Anyways, he never ended up getting it figured out. But my car was running a lot better. Anyways, but I knew it was just a matter of months before that fucking head gasket job that he did was gonna undo itself. I knew. Anyways, so fast forward a couple months now. We're November 2022, last year, and I had started my YouTube in the spring, but wasn't putting much up on it. I was getting some views, whatever. It was like a side thing for me that eventually I was hoping to get it monetized, but I wasn't paying it a whole lot of mind or attention or effort. I was putting up a video once in a while. It had been about 6 months since I put up a video. Um, but I had a bunch of stand up that I had done saved in my phone. And I'm like, let me throw up a couple of shorts of my stand up. Why not? I put up a couple of shorts. My jokes are good. And the next thing I know, I put those shorts up and I was getting pretty good views on them, 10,000 views, but it's shorts, so it's not building up the watch time hours. I'm getting some subs off it, not a whole lot. Anyways, a month later, December, now we're talking about mid-December 2022, I'm doing Uber Eats to make a living. I'm doing portraits occasionally, but I'm doing Uber Eats more because it's more reliable. I'll put it to you that way. The portraits, one day you'll make $100, the next day you'll make 20. And I'm like, you know what? At least with Uber Eats, I can kind of control how much I make. So I'm just like, I'm gonna keep doing Uber Eats and I'll do the portraits on the weekends. That's kind of what I was doing. So, all of a sudden, my head gasket's going. I can tell by the sounds my engine is making. My engine's about to go. This is mid-December last year. I'm like, oh shit, I can't do Uber Eats now, and I really can't even drive my car. I kept, I kept kind of hoping and trying to make it work. It wasn't really working out. I'm like, oh shit. Uh, you know, as time's going on, between like mid-November and mid-December, my money's just dwindling because my car is running worse and worse. Another thing that happened, the battery went dead, so I had to keep jumping my car every time I did a delivery. Over that next month, my money just dwindled down to nothing. I could work less every day. I'm making less money every day. But, anyways, by the time mid December came around, I'm like, this ain't gonna work. I've got to go park my car somewhere around Clearwater Beach, and this way at least I can walk out to the beach and do portraits and still make money and still eat and stuff. So I drive down to Clearwater Beach, and I'm in a pretty dejected mood. I'm pretty upset. I'm pretty angry. Um, I'm feeling like once again, uh, every time I build something up in life, it gets swiped out from under me to the point where I just threw everything out and lived on the street. Now I'm trying to build up again, and here I am. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, this is why you don't even try to be normal because you can never get ahead with these motherfuckers, man. Anyways, I'm like, and I'm speaking from my own experience. I'm not. I don't think this applies to everyone, but anyways, um, so I park my car. I end up picking this parking lot pretty close to the Clearwater Memorial Causeway. It ends up being like this condo parking lot. It's not a good spot because there's too many people in and out, too much shit going on in there. The residents. And anyway, I'm realizing right off the bat this spot ain't gonna work. But it's about probably about 5 p.m. And I'm thinking it's good enough for tonight. I don't want to keep driving my car. I need to get out on the beach, and hopefully there'll be a lot of people out there, a lot of street performers. I'll street perform some stand up and make some money with that. So I'm looking on my phone. My phone's telling me Pier 60 is busy right now. It's about 5 or 6 p.m. And usually this is when all the street performers start coming out to work. So I'm like, all right, let me head down there. I ain't got no money. I got a couple of cigarettes. That's about it. I need to make money. So I walk all the way to the beach, about a half-hour walk over the causeway, and um, I'm carrying my little amp and my little mic and my little sign, probably 10, 20 pounds worth of shit. Anyways, when you're not used to walking 2, 3 miles, it'll get to you. I mean, I can walk all day, but I've got to kind of adjust to it. At this point, I had been driving around a lot, not walking a lot. Like in New York City, I was walking and riding a bike every day. I could walk 100 miles, whatever. Anyways, so I get down to the beach and it is not looking good. I can tell. I can tell it ain't looking good. I can tell there's not a lot of people around. Even though my phone was telling me Pier 60 was busy, hmm, this is not the reality of the situation as I'm seeing when I get down there. I get down to the main street performer area and there's nobody. And I mean nobody. I've never seen the beach this dead. Never. Um, and a funny thing is, in Florida, the winter is actually one of the busier times because you got all the snowbirds and shit coming down. The problem is these snowbirds are like residents. They just live in their little condos and shit. They're not out on the town like tourists spending money and looking for portraits and souvenirs and shit. You know, none of this occurred to me until I got down to the beach. And I'm like, and but plus Google Maps is telling me Pier 60 is busy right now. That's what I don't get. I don't know why it was telling me that because it was dead. Usually Google Maps is accurate with that. It's not the first time I've checked to see if it was worth going down there, and it's telling me it's busy. I go down there, it's busy. Not this time. It's telling me it's busy. I get down there. I've never seen it this dead. I'm like, oh shit. And I hadn't been out to do portraits in probably a month or two. Um, so I was just trying to do the Uber Eats thing. Um, but I get down there and it's totally dead. So street performing is not an option. There's maybe every 10 minutes a person or two walks by. There's no street performing under those circumstances. I could have probably set up the portrait sign, but that's more of a daytime thing. That's not a nighttime thing for me. I'll do it at night or day, but either way, either way, the beach was so dead, it wasn't happening. So I couldn't believe the situation I was in. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, you know, I went and talked to a few people. Well, the first thing I did, I sat down on this bench, completely dejected. Sad, it is not a feeling I feel often. I feel sad is a waste. It's at anger can motivate you. It can be used as fuel. Sad, you can't do shit. So I'm one of those people where sadness usually turns straight to anger. I feel anger is a useful thing occasionally. It's not a good thing, but it can be useful. So, but at this point, I was just so spent with all the stress and you know, I was very dejected and very sad. It's right around this time last year. Might have even been exactly a year ago. I couldn't tell you for sure. I wasn't paying attention to the date. I didn't give a shit. One thing that was happening though, it's because of the YouTube shorts I put up. I had put up a month earlier. There was a lot more traffic going on with my YouTube channel, but I honestly, I really didn't even care because I needed to make money, and I was like, I wasn't even close to getting monetized. I was barely paying it any attention. I was getting a lot of notifications of comments and this and that. I wasn't even paying it no mind. Anyways, I get out to the beach, very dejected. It's dead. I'm sad. I sit on the bench. I smoke a cigarette. I didn't. I honestly didn't cry or anything, but I probably could have if I wanted to. That's how dejected I was. I was like, you know, I was like, what I if I'm gonna be homeless, I need to save up my money, get back on that train, and get back to New York City. Because if I'm gonna be homeless, it ain't gonna be around here. It's gonna be in New York, where I know that's my city. So I'm thinking, if my car gets towed or something, I'm gonna I'm gonna get my money up, go straight back to New York City. But so I'm sitting on the bench and real dejected. I smoked a cigarette. I can almost feel the feelings. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was rock bottom once again, a place I had been many times before, and I was just sick of it, fucking sick of it. No money, hardly any cigarettes, just sick of it. So I finished my cigarette. I walk around the beach. I talk to some people who work in the bars and shit. I'm like, yo, is it always this dead around this time of year? They're like, yes. They're like, it's going to be dead until spring. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what about during the day? They're like, it'll be better during the day, but it's still going to be pretty dead. I'm like, oh shit. You know, I got to do portraits out here. Anyways, I go back to my car and I go to sleep. There's nothing else to do. Ain't got no money, no food, no nothing. I ate something. I've got some emergency food, but I didn't eat nothing good. Anyways, I wake up the next day. This parking lot I'm in, it ain't gonna work. There's too many people around. I can't sit out here boiling water and making coffee. They're all gonna, you know, these uptight fucking people, they ain't gonna have it. So I go and I find another parking lot. I make my coffee. I don't like the spot. I feel like I'm drawing too much attention. I go back on Google Maps probably by 8 a.m. at this point. I'm like, I gotta get my ass out on the beach and start working. But first, I gotta find a safe spot for my car. Anyways, thank God I found a great parking spot. Big parking lot, lots of shrubbery and trees to hide my car in, and there's a lot of people in and out of this parking lot, but they're all like downtown Clearwater office workers. They don't give a shit. They're not paying attention to the parking lot. They don't live here. They don't care. Anyways, I find a great spot. It, a little off the beaten path in downtown Clearwater, but a great spot to vehicle camp. So I'm like, all right, that's a plus. Thank God I got a good spot. So it's probably about 9 a.m. now. I'm done with my coffee. I gotta get my ass over to the beach and do some portraits. I get over there, 30 minute, 45-minute walk, long walk from where I'm at. I had to go a little further from the causeway to find a good spot. I walk over there, I put up my sign, and hope for the best. Anyways, I end up making enough money to eat, to get a pack of cigarettes. It's a good thing, good enough. I'm just happy to be able to eat again. And but a funny thing happens when I'm out there, and I'm in between portraits. I'm getting all these notifications on my phone, and it's all from YouTube, the YouTube Studio app, telling me just so I keep getting all these comments and all this shit's going on my YouTube. I'm like, let me go look at it. I look at it, and it's telling me I've got like 20,000 views over the last day, which usually it's like a couple of hundred. I'm like, holy shit. And, uh, apparently those little shorts I put up of my stand up got a lot of traffic to my channel, and people were watching my videos. And when people watch the videos, the algorithm pushes them out more. So all of a sudden, I'm getting all these views, but I'm really not thinking a whole lot of it because I don't think it's going to get monetized from this. I just didn't think much of it. But as I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit. I got like, my sub count went from like 100 to like the next day, it was like over 1,000. And another thing that was happening was people were messaging me on Facebook and Instagram telling me like, yo, you should put up a Venmo or a Cash App so people can tip you. I'll send you a buck. Like, I like your videos and, you know, I want to send you a buck or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. And so I started putting the Venmo and the Cash App and the PayPal in the descriptions. And so all of a sudden, I got people sending me a buck or two here and there, which it's a big help at this point. And another thing that's happening is one of my videos is going viral to the point where it was the video about how it feels to OD on dope. Videos blowing up. My brother told me that my niece's boyfriend was sitting there. They live in St. Pete. He's sitting there fucking around on his computer or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, my niece's name is Jasmine." He's like, "Jasmine, isn't that your uncle?" And it, it, like the algorithm was pushing my video out so much, it went to my niece's boyfriend, and she's like, "Yeah, that is my fucking uncle." And so they're like, "What the fuck?" And so my video is just going out there to all these people, and next thing I know, I'm like, as I'm watching this happen, I'm sitting here trying to do portraits, but I'm noticing that, like, wait a minute, my YouTube might end up getting monetized because my sub count's shooting up like I couldn't believe it. Um, Within the next day or two, I had 1,000 subs and I had the 4,000 watch time hours, and YouTube sends me a notification saying, you need to make a Google AdSense so we can start paying you. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was a literal Christmas miracle. And I couldn't fucking believe it. And then what happened was I'm getting all these messages from all these people, ex addicts and stuff, like, I appreciate you, this and that. And all of a sudden, um, this other lady sends me a message and she's like, hey, I'm in Oregon and I like to, every Christmas, I like to help someone out and I want to help you out this year. And I'm like, okay, just go on Venmo or Cash App and send me $5, whatever. I thanks. She's like, well, I don't have none of that, but I want to send you $100. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I appreciate it, but how do you do it without Venmo and Cash App and shit? And she's like, well, I can do it Western Union. I'm like, okay. And as it turns out, if she hadn't sent me that 100, I probably wouldn't have eaten the next day because it rained for the next 2 days. I couldn't even do fucking portraits. It was one miracle after another. It was this time last year. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And I couldn't tell y'all how much I appreciate every single one of you for watching my YouTube. So, um, this is the story of my YouTube. Last year, the best Christmas present I ever got was uh, I was at rock bottom, thinking I'm about to be homeless again, hoping to get enough money to get on the train and get back to New York. All of a sudden, my YouTube is monetized, and uh, it, the YouTube ended up generating maybe like five, six, $700 within that week or so, and so um, it just I went from being this close to being homeless with a car I couldn't drive, just parked in the parking lot, no money. I'm gonna be making maybe 50 to $100 a day if I'm lucky. This apparently the beach is dead during this time of year, and it sure did look like it. And so I thought I was friggin' totally fucked. I thought I was totally fucked, and then all of a sudden my YouTube blows up, and it's something I'll never forget, and I couldn't tell y'all how much I appreciate you. And I guess the moral of the story here is don't 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 get too down because you never know what's gonna happen. You ever seen that movie Castaway when he's like, this is he managed to make it off the island at this point. He's talking to his friend, and he's like, man, he's like, I was helpless. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't even off myself. At one point, he wanted to just kill himself, but he like failed at it for some reason. He's like, I didn't know what to do, and all I knew is I had to keep breathing. And then the next thing I know, the tide comes in, and it brings me a sail. The tide came in, and a porta potty came in on the tide, and he used it as a sail to get off the island because the waves were too big. They kept crashing his raft back onto the island. He needed a sail to catch the wind to get over the wave. That's so. I don't care what you're going through in life. You got to keep trying. You got to keep breathing. You got to, stay positive. Don't turn bitter. Don't turn nasty. Don't turn angry. And because if you do, I don't know if good things are going to happen, but I can tell you one thing. If you stay true to yourself and you stay true to God and you just keep doing the best you can and you don't give up and you don't turn bitter and start blaming this and that and him and her and just keep trying, bro. And I guarantee you, sooner or later, that tide is going to bring something good to you. And I'm telling you, just keep trying, keep doing your best, and as long as you don't give up, as long as you are still in the game, opportunities are going to come your way. So stay positive. Don't think negatively. Don't feel negatively. I was upset at this time, but I was also, you know, I was still trying, still fighting, still trying to make it, and a miracle happened, and yeah, I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it, but that's my little Christmas story, and you guys are a part of it. You guys are the best Christmas present I ever got. Other than when I was a kid, I got a nice bike one time. Um, but I appreciate it more than I can express. Uh, Thanks for watching my videos, and thanks for liking and commenting and even talking shit to me. I appreciate every single one of you, and um, I just want to say thanks and Merry Christmas. And I hope everyone gets everything they want out of this life. And as long as you stay in the game and you keep trying, things sooner or later are going to start going your way. So thanks for the tips, Venmo, Cashapp, PayPal. Thanks for the comments, likes, subs. Getting a lot of new subs lately. Appreciate every single one of you. Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you. I'll probably put up another video between now and Christmas. But anyways, yeah, appreciate yous, and thanks for being here, and I'll see yous on the next one.